Renowned for their innovation and value to the community, it was only a matter of time before the feedback was heard and a new product introduced which solves the issues they accidentally created. I mean, look at this innovation. 100 ways to cook an egg, 100 ways to make a linear different. This one's got pink housing, this one has a yellow stem, this one has a red stem, and this one's even rated at 63.5 grams. Trust me on that one. So, with the introduction of DUROCK V2 stabilizers and an Aliexpress listing to accompany it, I decided to do what any rational person would do, and willingly fork out $50 for stabilizers without hesitation or question, because after you place the order, you spend your days waiting and passing time by camping cool keyboard drops, browsing Instagram, messaging designers asking them to sell you an N-dash, and after doing this every day for about 2 weeks, your package should arrive at your doorstep, and you know this, because you've been checking tracking every day to see when it will arrive at your doorstep. These ones came in a nice cute box, and they even included washers for me. Now, comparing way too closely to the version 1s, there aren't really any drastic changes overall, and I really didn't expect there to be because the original ones did everything fine except for the occasional wire issue. The inserts both have a nice smooth surface, though internally it looks a bit more refined in the V2, and I'm not sure if that's because it's a fresh new mold or if it's an actual tweak that they did. It looks like the gap where the wire fits is slightly smaller because this part rests a little bit lower. Looking down at it, nothing special happened with the top part. You can see here that the circle mark is still in the same spot. As well, the M2 thread part sticks out the same, so if you have the issue where they poke out too far and touch your case, you'll still need to file down the newer ones a bit. And obviously, you have a different front part which supports the stabilizer wire. I'll be taking a deeper look at the wire popping issue later on in the video. One last look at these two together, because for some, this is the first and last time they'll be looking at the V1s. Please keep in mind that the V1s have been used for what, like a year plus now, so they didn't all immediately just become sour, bad, and unusable. This newer version probably just gives people the extra peace of mind and added assurance. I'm going to do some test pulls and pops just to have a look at this infamous issue. We can look and see that even though the wire is being raised, it isn't going to easily pop out of the V2s. From my anecdotal evidence, if I'm going to diagnose why this happens, it's because sometimes the stem is too tight and when you pull the keycap off, it's uneven and at a slant. The insert, which is stuck in the stem, kind of pulls the wire as well. And because the wire can't go up, it's forced sideways and out. My argument would be that stab wires are more likely to have issues if the keycap is taken off at an angle rather than pulled off evenly from both sides. Since my examples don't have a plate, it's a bit easier to get a hold of the keycap with a puller or my fingers. I can imagine in some instances where I'd casually be trying to take off a keycap in a keyboard and accidentally pull the cap off from one side rather than both sides at once. And I reckon this would be the mistake because you don't want to leverage the keycap because you're going to pop the wire if you do. In this example, I put a bit of plastic over the insert and used a DSA keycap which has a tighter fitting to demonstrate what would happen if the insert is stuck in a keycap while you're trying to take it off. The side that I lift up is the side where the wire pops. With enough force, you could realistically pop any stabilizer wire. And of course what I'm showing are exaggerated examples, because I am using a lot of force to keep one side up while keeping the other side down. I'd like to say that this isn't possible to do even with the tightest fitting keycaps, because eventually they will come off the inserts. Just to note as well, you don't want to be messing around with the part that holds the wire in any brand of stabilizer, cause you run the chance of deforming and weakening it. The more you insert and remove it, the more you'll stretch it out. And to conclude the video, I might as well mention this. You do not want to pop the V2 stabilizers out because they are very, very difficult to get back into place in a built keyboard. You cannot just push down the wire because the hook is probably right underneath it and it prevents you from getting it back into place. Because when we install this type of stab, we have to pull it into place rather than pushing it in like what we're used to.